There's the coach. Georgia fans with signs of support for the embattled Jim Herrick. First half, Georgia showing no signs of being distracted by the recent controversy off the turnover. Shot right, dunking, tied it early at 8. It'd be tied and it'd be close all game. Later in the first half, Florida up 4. Anthony Roberson 4-3. Florida up 5 at the half. Second half, we're back knotted at 58. Tight game, right, going coast to coast. And the tough runner goes down. Georgia has its first lead at 60-58. More Georgia. Matt Walsh losing the ball. Jarvis Hayes. Well, Dick, tell us about it.
The Georgia Bulldogs are starting to explode. Who said they have problems? Who said they have problems?
Well, they still got a few problems, like Walsh knocking down a 3, putting the Gators back up 1, 6:15 left. Minute go. Florida up 2. Ezra Williams, 4-3. 15 of his 20 came after intermission. Georgia now up 1. All right, fighting back. Matt Bonner, he had 24 with 24 seconds left. His team's got a 1-point lead. Georgia right back at him. Heavyweights throwing punches. Jarvis Hayes, window. Georgia back up 1. Flashback January 11th, first meeting between these two at the O-Dome. They were tied at 63. Roberson hits the game-winning 3 as time was running out, 66-63. We go back to Tuesday, down 1, 6 seconds left. Walsh pass. Falls down inside to David Lee, who throws it up, but it's too late. Time runs out. Watch again before Lee gets the ball. The red light had already gone off. There was a technical glitch in the clock on the screen, but he did not get it off in time. No bucket. Dogs win. Georgia 82-81. Herrick. Woo!
I worried about me more than I worried about them. I think kids are resilient, and you know, I really think, and I believe it's with all my heart, they take on the personality of the coach. It's just a terrific game. I mean, you know, 1 point, either team could have won, but we needed it worse than Billy needed it.
CPR finish. Dogs needed bad. Hadn't performed that well over the last 10 games or away from home. Chalk that up to having the hardest schedule in the nation. They've done well against the tough opposition, going 9-4 against ranked teams in the RPI's top 50. Now the not-so-sunny side of the Georgia story. Jim Herrick speaks to recent allegations of violations later in sports and her strong accusations. Very strong answers as well.
Second half, tied. Will Bynum causes a turnover. And here comes Tech. Jared Jack on the other end. He misses, but Ishmael Muhammad gathers the spill. Give the man 2 and a top 10 nominee. Less than 2 minutes left. Rashad Wright can't get it to go. Chris Daniels, 11 rebounds, 14 points. We're tied. 5 seconds left. Still tied. Tech 8 for 28 from 3. Clarence Moore. No, we have more basketball to play. Tech down 3 in OT. Final seconds. Let's do it again.
Marvin Lewis, the 2-pointer, off the front of the iron. Rebound, Jack, wide open 3. Got it! Jared Jack with 1.5 seconds left, ties it up.
All right, Jack the hero. Now we're going to double overtime. Jonas Hayes, 4 of his career-high 25 points in the second overtime. Brother Jarvis there for inspiration. 14 seconds left. Tech now down to Jack. Misses the layup. Coach Hewitt wanted the foul, didn't get it. Final seconds. Bulldogs up 3. Levi Stoops can't seal the deal. Tech needs a 3 for a third overtime beat.
Jonas Hayes, and he fleets the ball high, straight up into the air. It hits the disco ball, and Georgia has won it in double overtime.
Georgia's Dennis Felton, he knows what it takes at Rupp Arena. Let's flash back. November 15th, 2001, Felton's only other visit to Rupp as the coach of Western Kentucky Hilltoppers with a big win, 64-52. Let's go back to Saturday, shall we? Kentucky coach Tubby Smith going for win number 300. Second half, Kentucky down 2. Planning out strategy. It's Antoine Barber. He's fouled hard by Steve Newman. It's intentional. Barber down on the court. Some trash talk, and teams had to be separated. Not a single punch was thrown, but Tubby Smith gives Barber an earful. Later in the second half, Dogs up on Rashad Wright. White, 20 points. Dogs up 42-38. Rashad Wright. Somebody called the fire marshal. Dogs up 8. Wright. Outside, inside. The man was a force. So Georgia shocks Kentucky as Tubby is denied win number 300.
Georgia had tasted the sweet wine of success at Rupp Arena less than a month before this Valentine's Day rematch with Kentucky in Athens. The Bulldogs claimed victory up in Lexington for just the fourth time in school history. No doubt the Wildcats wouldn't forget their embarrassment that day. Georgia won at Kentucky on the strength of its perimeter players. The Bulldogs would play the rematch with a focus on the front court, trying to neutralize the strong play of Kentucky forwards Eric Daniels and Chuck Hayes, who had been very effective in defeat at Lexington.
Georgia with a basketball. We're just underway. Here's Wilkins' free throw line jumper. It's good. Damian Wilkins with it. Looks like a freshly shaved dome, and we're tied at 2. Georgia with the ball in the near corner, rather, to Stoops to Wilkins off the screen, and he hits it from just above the elbow. A long 2 by Damian Wilkins, and he's got 4, and it's 12-6. Cats with a 6-point lead and the ball.
Really having a tough time with Rashad Wright.
And Rashad trying to pick up a loose ball as he knocked it loose. Dogs with a steal. Stoops up ahead, and a two-handed slam for Chris Daniels on the other end to finish the deal.
The pace of the first half action reflected Kentucky's clear focus and determination. The Cats built a big early lead while Georgia went stone cold with its outside shooting. Only the hot hand of Jonas Hayes prevented an even wider margin before intermission.
Dribble drive, dumps it to Daniels. Shot blocked in the paint. Daniels got it right back, goes up again, and gets blocked. Georgia with the rebound. Here's Wright out of the pack. Rashad going to drive. Missed the layup. Daniels gets the rebound, tries to throw it back up and in. He missed. Jonas Hayes does the work. He gets the rebound and scores. To Rashad, who runs along the baseline, catches the feed in the corner. Give it to Stoops now on the right wing. Down low to Jonas Hayes. Turn, jumper, rattled it in there good from 8 feet. Bounce feed to Daniels, right low block. Daniels with his back to the basket, going to spin to the baseline and pass across to Jonas Hayes, and he will score. The shot clock. Here's Hawkins driving to the basket. He misses a running layup. Kentucky with the rebound. They put it back up. It's still battles for it. Georgia gets the rebound. Jonas Hayes with his 3rd. Kentucky had a couple of cracks at it, but the ball's being knocked all over the place. Georgia on the offensive end. Wilkins charges in. Contact made. No call. He misses the shot. Jonas Hayes with the rebound in the paint and turn around and put it up and in.
But better shooting didn't enable Georgia to turn the corner on this day. Its defense did. And the Bulldogs took control of the contest by disrupting the Wildcats and intimidating them a little bit, too.
Shot inbounds to Hayes, to Sykes, up on the right wing, to Daniels in the circle. Here's a 16-footer, good by Chris Daniels. Georgia with the ball, Sykes on the left wing, fires across to Wilkins, nearly intercepted by Azubuike. Right corner 3 by Rashad, good! Rashad Wright hit his first 3, his first field goal, and Georgia has tied it at 43.
Guys, now it's on now. Now it's on. Now listen, don't forget who has to win this game. Who has to win it. So how can they possibly play any harder, any tougher, any more aggressive than us? They don't need it. We need it.
With the outcome still up for grabs, freshman Levi Stoops nailed perhaps the game's biggest bucket, this long three-pointer with just over 4 minutes left. It gave the Bulldogs a 6-point lead and tipped the balance in their favor. Damian Wilkins followed with a basket that epitomized the Bulldogs' effort on this victorious afternoon. Georgia had completed a regular season sweep of Kentucky for just the 5th time in history, and the Bulldogs had given themselves a moment to savor for all time.
Georgia has beaten Kentucky for the 2nd time this year, 74-68, as the students make their way to the middle of the floor to be on national television.
Muhammad against Allen. Back for Lucas. A 3 to tie. Got it. Just like he did against St. Joe's. Timeout taken by Oklahoma State. 10. He'll hand to Bynum with 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Bynum going to the goal. Puts it up. Good with 1. Mavic to put it in play. Lucas will heave, and it is no good. And Georgia Tech plays Monday night for the national title.
Until that home run by Felmy, Sip had set down 9 in a row, striking out 6 of them. 2-1 pitch. Fly ball, deep left field.
Gibson Jacobs, for the second time in this game, he has a pair of solo home runs. This one by far the biggest in the 9th inning, ties the ball game just over the 370 mark as Zane Green cannot catch it. And look at Jacobs. Unbelievable.
The game is tied at 6.
But there were plenty more fireworks to come when defending national champion and third-ranked LSU invaded Athens. A stifling UGA defense shut down the Tigers, while David Green and receivers Reggie Brown and Fred Gibson cut loose and supplied enough memories for a season.
Green back there, going to take it. Going to throw, going to lead a receiver. Touchdown in the corner, touchdown. Reggie Brown down in the right corner.
Well, the Georgia coaches next door proud of that one. They were standing up as soon as David let that one fly. What a beautiful pass. Perfect timing. Reggie Brown down the sideline to beat his man right over the shoulder and right into his hands. A perfect throw from David Green.
Green takes it and is going to throw down in the corner, and it's going to be a touchdown to Gibson. Fred Gibson turned around and got up in the air and caught that ball. Green to a perfect strike, though. There was a defender climbing up in there with Gibson, and the Dogs have gone out in front 16-0. Green takes it, steps back, looks, and he's going to go for Reggie Brown in the corner, and it's a touchdown! It's a touchdown by about 6 inches. He was running right down the sideline. I don't see how he kept the ball in fair territory. Reggie Brown, and he was being covered. Reggie Brown caught a perfect David Green strike. An incredible thing to see that one. I didn't know that ball was going to be anywhere in there.
I didn't even think he was going to be in bounds, much less catch it, but he did both, apparently.
23-0, and Bailey will try the extra point. David Green in a shotgun, takes a snap. Green looks, and he's going in the corner for Gibson. Touchdown, a diving catch. Touchdown, Gibson. Fred Gibson decoyed the defensive man by running at about 3/4 speed and not looking back, and then turned it on and laid his body out in the air and dove for that end zone. And just like that, we are 30-10.
3 minutes after Gibson's second touchdown, Green would set the Georgia record with his 5th TD pass of the day.
Green takes it. They're coming on him. He dodges a guy, throws on a run to right, for a touchdown in the corner. Sean Bailey in the corner, number 4, weaving around a guy on a 5-yard line and caught the ball in the chest around the 4 and just shot in there. David Green ran right by a blitzer who got his hand on his jersey and barely threw the ball while he was still behind the line of scrimmage. It's 37-10.
David Green's 5 touchdown passes led to his being named National Player of the Week, and the UGA rock-solid defense recorded 7 sacks as the Bulldogs rolled to a 45-16 victory over the number 3 team in the nation, defending national champion LSU. A triumph that will go down as one of the greatest days in Georgia football history. 4 weeks later, Georgia traveled to Jacksonville for the annual showdown with Florida. David Green and Leonard Pope connected for 2 touchdowns and early Bulldog leads.
And so Green fakes it, and we're going to go long. Man wide open, touchdown in the corner. Reggie Brown decoyed that same pattern to the right. Big Pope, the tight end, ran that pattern down on the left.
Oh, a nice play fake by David Green, and Pope ran a nice pattern right in the near corner, and Green put it right on his fingertips, and Leonard with a nice catch and a touchdown.
Green takes it, comes back, throws down the middle, a man wide open, and we are going to get a touchdown. That was Leonard Pope, the big tight end. He sensed it coming as he was still running out around a 10, really reaching for a football that was coming at him. We shot a tight end wide open down the middle, and this thing is right now looking like it's going to be 44-41.
The Bulldogs defense rang up 5 sacks of Gators quarterbacks, including 2 by senior All-American end David Pollock that pushed him to the school's all-time sack record. It would be a record-setting day for quarterback David Green, who broke Eric Zier's school record for touchdown responsibility with 72. With Florida pressing late in the game, Green found his favorite targets, Reggie Brown and Fred Gibson, for game-clinching receptions.
Gators in a 5 or in an I. Fake. And he fires right down the middle. Touchdown! 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 Fred Gibson caught a ball running right to left. Green hit him. Green hit him with a 15-yarder. He was barely inbounds on that back sideline, on that back line. 30-21. Don't give up.
Fred Gibson's gutty fingertip touchdown catch secured a 31-24 Bulldogs victory as the Richt era claimed its first win over the rival Gators. One of the greatest classes in Georgia history closed out its career on New Year's Day 2005 against 16th-ranked Wisconsin in Tampa's Outback Bowl. Trailing 10-3 in the second quarter, the Bulldogs went to the air to take the lead.
Green underneath, fakes to the tail, looks, fires a pass, complete, touchdown, Fred Gibson, right down the middle. Perfect strike to Fred Gibson. After we kind of chipped away with a running game and started getting 4 or 5 yards of crack, we hit Fred Gibson to take a 9-6 lead.
In the third quarter, the Dogs again went to the air as Green found some non-household names to reach the end zone.
And that touchdown was a bit bizarre. David Green's pass was intended for Sean Bailey, and it was tipped away, deflected. Wisconsin thought to the ground, but there was Jeremy Thomas to pick it up before it hit the ground. Not quite the immaculate reception, but he ran it in the end zone for the touchdown, and Georgia leads it 17-6.
On Georgia's next series, the red and black offensive line dominated, opening huge holes for Danny Ware and Thomas Brown.
Green going to take it, going to give it to Brown. He found a hole. He's got 5, he's got 10, 15, 20, 25, touchdown! Thomas Brown burst through a big hole right in the middle, and Brown just shot in there.
Georgia's defense played lights out too. Thomas Davis registered 2 sacks against the Badgers, and Odell Thurman and Quentin Moses added 1 apiece. Senior end David Pollock, who was named Outback Bowl MVP, recorded 3 sacks and a fumble recovery reminiscent of his 2002 strip at South Carolina.
And we sacked the quarterback coming off the corner with that Pollock again.
Pollock stole the ball.
We're demanding the ball. I think we're going to get it. Yeah, we did. Pollock stole the ball. What a way to wind up your career. Pollock blitzed from the side and stole the ball from the quarterback's hand as he was going back and wanted to turn around and throw and never saw him coming.
Boy, shades of the South Carolina game a couple of years ago on the sack.
Watch it here.
He just ripped it right out as he rolled over the quarterback's back and stole it, and he came up with it. Amazing play.
Georgia rolled to a 24-21 win over Wisconsin and ended the season 10-2 and ranked number 6 in the poll.
Well, here's Cole chasing to punt it. Houston stands at the 23, and it's a bad snap. Clemson's in real trouble, and it's recovered back at the 10-yard line. Oh, my goodness.
Holy mackerel.
It's come completely off the seams with 16 seconds left. It's 24-21. Georgia Tech's going to have it 1st and 10 at the Clemson 10.5.
The snapper fell down and just, he's amazing. I mean, I've never seen. He fell down to his knees. He couldn't believe he bounced it back there.
Georgia Tech's got a chance to win or tie. Reggie Ball brings George Cooper, Darius Williams into the ball game. No timeouts left for Georgia Tech. Calvin Johnson will go to the left. Justin Miller finds him defensively. Ball from under center. Sets, throws. Johnson's there. It is touchdown! Touchdown! Calvin Johnson! Touchdown. Son of a gun! He has absolutely lived up to the legendary billing. And with 11 seconds left,
Georgia Tech has taken the lead. Are you serious? Reggie Ball took 3 steps, looped it, and the legend is born in Calvin Johnson. Holy smokes! Unbelievable. Oh my gosh.
A touchdown.
27-24.
We have celebration against the scoring team.
11 seconds to play. Reggie Ball and Georgia Tech have scored 3 touchdowns in the last 4.5 minutes. I'm not believing the performance tonight by Calvin Johnson and Reggie Ball. Oh, amazing.
At least 4 times here they kicked it out of bounds in this half.
Somebody kicked it out.
Stooks for 3. He got fouled. He'll go to the line for a chance to take 3 at the line.
I said you cannot commit a foul. There's no need committing a foul and killing that clock. Now you're going to go to the line and shoot 3. And that's just not a good play by Adrian Borders.
Well, I mean, Georgia gets the opportunity here to cut the lead in half with the clock not moving.
The 3 doesn't hurt you half as bad as that foul does, and it's kind of demoralizing situation to foul a 3-point shooter. Wofford is 19 for 28 from the free throw line at 68. Georgia's 12 for 19. A lot of free throws being shot, and that was a shot that should not have been advanced without fouling.
Gaines will bring it up for Georgia, and the clock is running.
Penetration.
He's going to go all the way to the hoop and lay it in. So Georgia gets the quick 2, and it's down to 2, and Georgia calls a timeout again.
Set up defense, I don't know. He missed it.
Gaines got the rebound. Georgia can tie. Brophy kicks out to Evans. To the hot hand, Tony, and he hit it! Game tied with 7.2. Taylor brings it up for Wofford. Down to 3 seconds. Borders drives and misses at the buzzer. We have overtime. Stooks out top gets it to the hot hand Tony. He's working on Taylor. Drives into the paint. Had some trouble with his dribble. Kept it alive and then feeds to Gaines, who got too far underneath the basket, but then got it back and put it in.
I tell you what, he's an opportunist. He goes after the basketball. Second.
Inside to Bliss. He's being guarded by Daniels. That's a mismatch, I think. Bliss waits for the double team and then gets it to Newman, who puts it in.
They're letting Cutters run a little bit too free to the goal. Free throw shooting ability and put someone else in. Now they are going to have to get serious blockouts because many times Georgia's got second shots.
Newman hit the second. It's a 2-point Georgia lead with 20 seconds to play. Shot clock off as the Terriers bring it into the front court.
Gibson's hanging on to the ball way too long.
Taylor drives the paint, kicks out. Stevens in the corner, missed it. Gains the rebound with 3 seconds. He's fouled. He'll go to the line.
Today, I believe he has a 3.
Georgia with a 4-point lead in 2.5 seconds, and that should just about do it. Inbound stolen by Brophy. The Bulldogs are going to win.
That was a great game by both teams. And what an enjoyable game to see. And by the way, a well-officiated ball game.
Georgia improves to 4-3 on the season, dropping Wofford to 7-3 with a hard-fought 93-89 victory here in overtime, Sonny.
It was a great game. It was an exciting game.
Last night, I was talking to Coach Rick a little bit early, and I was telling him, I couldn't even sleep last night.
The 2005 season began in front of an ESPN national audience, with Georgia sporting the number 13 national ranking and playing host to 18th-ranked Boise State. The Broncos, who had posted a record of 39-3 over the previous 3 years, were making their first trip to Athens. It didn't take long for the Dogs to demonstrate their bite equaled their bark. On the first play from scrimmage, Tony Taylor's interception put the Bulldogs in scoring position. And then DJ Shockley showed his rushing talents.
A hole for Shockley, 5, 10, touchdown!
Shockley's 14-yard run gave Georgia a touchdown lead only 2 minutes into the game. And it wasn't long before the Dogs' defense would create another scoring chance when linebacker Dan Ellerby picked off another Boise State pass. After Thomas Brown's run moved the chains, DJ Shockley accounted for his second touchdown in 5 minutes, this time through the air.
Touchdown! Kenneth Harris, one of the reserve receivers.
Leading 14-0, the Bulldogs defense began to tee off on the Boise State offense. Quentin Moses showed his quickness with a sack and a fumble recovery and helped alleviate any concerns about the departure of David Pollock to the NFL. Early in the second quarter, safety Trey Battle would come up with yet another Bulldogs turnover.
And we intercept on our 42-yard line, and the secondary man is dancing around, caught from behind on their 40. Trey Battle, they're over.
DJ Shockley would use his legs for another dynamic run deep into Broncos territory to set up a Brandon Coutu field goal and a 17-0 Georgia lead. The defense, however, was not finished. Determined to better its 2004 mark of 5 interceptions for the entire season, Greg Blue would intercept Georgia's 4th pass of the first half, the first of the hard-hitting senior's career. In the final seconds, Quentin Moses would get Georgia's 6th turnover of the first half, recovering a fumbled snap deep in Boise State territory. Once again, DJ Shockley went to the air.
Going to throw a pass for a touchdown down in the corner. Danny Ware.
Georgia led 24-0 at the half, but Shockley was just getting warmed up. 1 minute into the third quarter, he connected with tight end Martrez Milner to give the Dogs a 31-point advantage.
Down the 40, the 30, the 20. Milner's going to go all the way and score.
The rout was now on. Less than 3 minutes later, DJ Shockley would go deep once again, finding Sean Bailey for a touchdown and a 38-0 lead.
Sean Bailey turned around, and the defensive back in front of him out-jumped him, but the ball came right over the defensive back's hands.
After a 4-year wait, DJ Shockley was proving he was worth the wait. Late in the third quarter, he would look for Sean Bailey and another big gainer over the middle. He and Bailey connected moments later for another score and a 45-7 lead.
Going down in the corner for a touchdown to Sean Bailey. He hit Bailey over in the left corner, who had 2 defensive backs there, but they were running behind him about a step and a half.
In his debut, DJ Shockley would tie the school's all-time record of 5 touchdown passes in one game and set a new mark for touchdown responsibility with 6. DJ passed for 289 yards and rushed for a team-leading 85 as the Bulldogs crushed Boise State 45-13. DJ Shockley's numbers earned him National Player of the Week honors and will rank as one of the greatest first-game starting performances in Bulldogs history. Week 2 saw the 9th-ranked Bulldogs host the SEC return of a longtime nemesis, now sporting different colors. Another national TV audience saw Steve Spurrier enter Athens, having traded in his Florida blue and orange for South Carolina garnet. His hopes of continuing his one-time dominance of Georgia ended quickly thanks to DJ Shockley and a tenacious Georgia defense.
And Mitchell going to play action fake. We're chasing him behind the line. One guy sacked him way back on the 27.
That's Q-Mo.
Moses, huh?
Moses got in there, had 6.5 last year, second only to David Pollock.
They put the tailback in motion off to the right and loaded up. Mitchell back to throw again. Fires a bullet, and we intercept on our 8-yard line. Dogs got a man down the side. Battle trying to dodge back in on the 34. He's coming this way. One man rolled a block. Trey Battle are over. Intercepted, and there was nobody around him when he intercepted that ball inside of our 10.
Early in the second quarter, the Dogs would take the lead when Shockley led them downfield and finished the drive with a high-flying Wallenda's touchdown.
Run a receiver in motion right. Shockley going to run out there. Shockley got blocking. 5, 10, touchdown! And boy, was he moving. And did he have blockers when he got to the corner. Shockley was really moving. They hit him on about the 1.5, and he went upside down. He dove over some people high in the air. Extra point to 2, which is good, and we are 7-0.
Georgia's hard-hitting defense stymied the South Carolina offense. Paul Oliver's interception was the Dogs' 6th of the season, bettering the entire 2004 season mark. Sophomore end Charles Johnson and senior end Will Thompson registered sacks as the Bulldogs continued to apply pressure to Carolina quarterback Blake Mitchell.
And he got caught. Somebody half-blocked, got his leg, and that's Charles Johnson, the defensive end. Charles Johnson.
Leading 10-9 early in the fourth quarter, the Georgia line began opening huge holes for running backs Thomas Brown and Danny Ware. Led by All-American Max Gene Gillis, the men in the trenches showed just how far they've come during their time in Athens. The Dogs would rush for 238 yards on the afternoon, including a career-high 144 by Thomas Brown, who gave Georgia a 17-9 lead early in the fourth quarter.
Cutting in there, touchdown. Thomas Brown at left guard in a big hole. It looked like Shockley was going to fake to the right, but he just gave it to Brown, who came around him and shot in at left guard. Good blocking on the left side again, I believe, and we have got the lead at 16-9.
Carolina would make it interesting with a late touchdown, but Georgia would run clock and force the Gamecocks to use timeouts thanks to a clutch third down conversion on 3rd and 22.
Right open, it is completed the 35, and he fell out of bounds. Completed pass. Brian McClendon caught the biggest pass of his life. We got a first down.
The Gamecocks' one final chance, but Charles Johnson's second sack of the day forced a final play where the defense would put the last nail in Carolina's coffin.
Back, looks, fires. It is complete, and then he lateraled the ball back on the 20-yard line. We knocked the guy out of bounds on the 28. Somebody rolled the block. Newton caught the ball, lateraled the ball to Sidney Rice, the receiver. They ran a good play, and they got about 15 yards when they needed 19.
Georgia wins 17-15, improves to 2-0 on the season, and moves up to number 6 in the national ranking. The following week, the Bulldogs were once again in Tennessee, traveling to Nashville for an ESPN2 matchup with surprising Vanderbilt. Georgia safety Greg Blue would lay down the law early for the Commodores offense.
And Cutler goes a bullet down the middle, complete. Picked up by Blue, who dumped the guy upside down on our 35, George Smith.
The Bulldogs offense got on track late in the first quarter, with DJ Shockley spreading the ball around to different receivers. The drive culminated on a Craig Lumpkin run.
Going to give it to a ball carrier. Lumpkin going down to the corner, and he hurdles everybody and scores and lands about 5 or 6 yards deep in the end zone.
Vandy and their all-SEC quarterback Jay Cutler would drive for a tying score, but the Dogs would quickly respond. Thomas Brown, who had a game-high 91 yards rushing, busted off a big gainer. Then Shockley found Pope over the middle for a 26-yard gain to the 1-yard line. A penalty sent the Dogs back to the 10. But DJ Shockley was not to be denied.
And Shockley going to play action fake and look, and he's going to run. Here he comes, 15-10, fires a pass. It is complete in the back of the end zone. He hit Sutherland in the chest, and he did not quite cross the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball. He was close.
The Dogs would add to their lead before the half ended. The defense shut down Jay Cutler and the Commodores. And then DJ Shockley would hit 2 big passes to set up a field goal as time expired.
Vanderbilt trying to load the middle of the line. Snap, put it down, and the kick is going to be good.
Leading 17-7, the second half began with the Dogs' defense again shutting down the Vandy offense. Georgia built its lead to 24-7 less than 5 minutes into the third quarter, when a scoring drive would culminate in sensational freshman Mohamed Massaquah's first career touchdown.
Shot going to wait for it, going to fake it to Brown, then look and then roll to the left, looking, and is going to fire, and it is caught in the corner for a touchdown, just barely inbound. Massaquah made a great tumbling, falling down catch.
Vanderbilt's high-powered offense would cut the lead to 10, but the Bulldogs offense would immediately respond. Mark Richt decided to go deep.
Shockley's in a shotgun. He's got Ware as a running back next to him. Going to give it to Danny Ware as he faked, and then he looks, and he's going to air it out, a long bomb, and a great catch down on the 16 by Sean Bailey.
The long pass set up another Coutu field goal that built the Bulldogs' advantage to 27-14 with 5:43 remaining in the third quarter. Georgia's lead was cut to 10 on a Commodores field goal when the Bulldogs special teams came up with another key play to set the offense up in scoring position.
Fourth and about 13 and a half or so, and Vanderbilt's Brian Honfeld, the punter, in. He's on the goal line. Hey, we're coming on him, and I think we got it. We blocked it, and it's going to come rolling over on the far sideline and go out of bounds out around the 20. We shot 3 men in there. One of them was Tyson Browning, the substitute running back, and he's jumping like he really found $1 million. It may have been him on it.
DJ and the Dogs offense quickly took advantage of the opportunity.
Shockley takes it and comes back. Got some protection. Running to the left, but they're chasing him. They miss him. He's looking. He's going to fire one, and one of our guys may have caught it. Yeah, we had 2 receivers catch the ball almost head-to-head, and McClendon and Harris, 2 men were down there.
The defense held Commodores quarterback Jay Cutler to 125 yards under his season yardage average. But the injury bug began to hit hard, with senior Kedrick Golston separating his shoulder. Shockley passed for 298 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the Dogs improved to 6-0 with the 34-17 victory. In their regular season finale, the Bulldogs visited Bobby Dodd Stadium, seeking their 5th consecutive win over state rival Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets would take an early 7-0 lead, but that would be their only highlight of the evening. Georgia would even the score 5 minutes later on a scoring drive that featured several big plays.
Shockley fakes to Lumpkin. He's back. He looks. He's going to throw a man wide open out on the 45, down the sideline, the big tight end over the 50 to the 47, Leonard Pope. Shockley going to fake it and come back. Throws, and it is complete. Masterclaw is going to go for the far corner. Got hit on the 18 and knocked down by Scott, the corner. Masterclaw had a good angle, and Scott had a better angle and took him down. Well thrown ball, and Masterclaw was open. And the Dogs now knock on the door, and they are inside the other guy's 20.
In a quarter that featured 4 reviews by the game officials, Thomas Brown looked as if he had scored to tie it. Replay officials claim Brown was not in the end zone. But on the next play, the offensive line and fullback Brandon Sutherland ended any controversy.
Brown and Sutherland of the backs. The tight end is in motion to the left, and they go to the fullback, and Sutherland scores through a hole at left guard and left tackle. Sutherland burst in there, and nobody was on him at all, and we're 7-6 now.
With the score tied at 7, the defenses would take over for the next 2.5 quarters. DeMario Minter did an outstanding job shadowing Tech All-American receiver Calvin Johnson and taking him out of the Jackets' game plan. Linebackers Jarvis Jackson and Danny Verdun-Wheeler would each register a team-leading 9 tackles as the Dogs kept the Jackets out of the end zone for the rest of the night. Tailback Craig Lumpkin would register his best game since 2 years ago at Tech, finishing with 74 yards on 11 carries as the lingering effects of his knee injury began to disappear. But it was the special teams that came up with a game-turning play late in the fourth quarter.
Ben Arndt will be punting. Gets a good snap and kicks it a mile. Good spiral. Flowers way back. Going to take it and drive up to the 25, to the 30, to 35, to 40. Hit from behind, spun around on a 46-yard line. Flowers suddenly, he burst 10 or 15 yards, and I thought he was going to get killed down there right after he caught it.
The Dogs took advantage of the return. DJ Shockley hit Mario Raley for a first down to keep the drive alive. And then DJ would go to the end zone and Brian McClendon.
3:37 to go. Man, it's 7-7. We are in and high. Shockley underneath. They're coming up into a 6-man line with the snap. Shockley goes back, and he's going to throw it in the end zone. Touchdown! Brian McClendon. They beat a corner He faded a pattern on him, and the guy caught it with room to spare in the back of the end zone. Shockley threw a perfect pass. The scoreboard just changed. It's 13-7. It ain't over yet. 10 men on the line. Couture going to stick up that extra point and make it 14-7. But there's more than 3 minutes to go, and I'll guarantee you the clock is not going to move.
Leading 14-7 with 3 minutes to play, now it was up to the Georgia defense to once again shut down Tech. The Jackets, however, marched quickly downfield and looked positioned to tie the game when senior Tim Jennings would ice the victory.
They got 78 seconds.
I think they'll try a fade.
Reggie Ball underneath, puts that tight end, puts him over on the right side. Ball comes back. Throws a bullet, and we intercepted on the 5. The Dogs have got a man going down the sideline. Tim Jennings is going to go out of bounds deliberately around the 40. He stepped in front of Bilbo. Tim Jennings grabbed the ball exactly on the 5, all by himself, and streaked down the side. We may have saved our whatchamacallit. Tim Jennings streaking down the side.
You can't spell Tim Jennings without I-N-T, baby.
Tim Jennings' pickoff secured a 14-7 win, giving Georgia a 9-2 record in what was supposed to be a rebuilding season. Another trip to Atlanta to take on LSU for the SEC championship was now fresh on their minds. The Dogs entered the Georgia Dome an underdog, but confident a second conference championship in 4 years was in their grasp. Coach Mark Richt's game plan was intended to grab the momentum early and never let it go. Will Thompson would start it out for the defense on the first play from scrimmage for the Tigers, sacking quarterback Jamarcus Russell. Then DJ Shockley and Sean Bailey would get the offense untracked 5 minutes into the game.
Shockley underneath. Shockley going to fake it and come back to pass. And we're going to go for a long pass. Touchdown!
Well, a perfect pass from DJ Shockley. Never broke stride. Bailey made a beautiful over-the-shoulder catch.
Shockley really threw that ball.
Leading 7-0, the early momentum was clearly Georgia's. Senior cornerback Demario Minter then made sure LSU would not take the Mo back, intercepting his second pass of the season.
Russell takes it. He's back, looks, fires. And we intercepted on our 48-yard line. Demario Minter, who read it, caught the ball and then fell down with it. And the Dogs have intercepted the pass from Russell. We will have the ball again in excellent field position. We've picked one. We're leading 7-0, and now we've intercepted at midfield.
The Dogs quickly took advantage of that turnover when Shockley and Bailey would hook up once again.
Shockley backs up again. He's still on the shotgun. Takes it and drops back and looks. And he's going to go. He's got a man wide open. Touchdown in the right corner. Sean Bailey again, this time in the other corner. He caught the ball and 1 foot came down inbounds. He was, what, 20 feet out in front.
Boy, did they ever bite on that play fake. My goodness. Landry just got toasted.
Defensive coordinator Willie Martinez had his troops playing inspired football. Minter and fellow senior corner Tim Jennings were playing like men possessed. Lineman Quentin Moses and Jeff Owens were making their presence felt inside. And then the special teams came up with another momentum-grabbing effort on a play Coach John Fabris had designed just for this championship game.
So we load up the middle and we decide where you might take a shot at them. We're coming off the corner, but they pick up and we block it. It's on the 23. LSU's going to pick it up. We're going to tackle them on about the 14-yard line. Somebody shot up in there. We blitzed the man off the corner. They blocked him so hard, I don't know how he got up, but somebody else shot up the middle. We decoyed him, I think, with that blitz off the corner.
Seconds later, the Dogs would convert the turnover when DJ Shockley would turn a broken play into a touchdown.
Shockley underneath, fakes, Look, Shockley's going to run. He's got room. He's going to get to the 5, 4, 3, 2, touchdown. We had men moving all over the place. That may have sounded like an easy run, but it really wasn't. He had a guy breathing on the back of his shoes. All 5 of those steps, but we got a score. He went in the left corner near the end zone corner.
The touchdown gave Georgia a 21-7 lead that it would take into the half.
It'll be second down for LSU on their own 4. And the half is going to end. They're going to let the clock run out. LSU's not going to run a play. That's going to be the end of the half. And the Dogs are leading 21-7 at the end of the half. And I bet you think it's over.
As the third quarter began, the defense ensured the Tigers would not grab the early second half momentum, forcing a 3-and-out on the first series. The Dogs' offense would then add to the lead, moving downfield on a scoring march that would end with a Brandon Coutu field goal and a 24-7 lead.
We set it down, and the kick is up, and the kick is going to be good. And we get 3 more points out of it, and the Dogs lead 24-7.
Now smelling SEC championship, the Dogs defenders were playing possessed. Jeff Owens and Quentin Moses teamed for a sack that would knock LSU quarterback Jamarcus Russell out of the game.
Russell back. We're coming on him, and one man's going to get him back around the 23. Owens, a young kid. Jeff Owens, a young tackle, came off the right corner and got him. And Russell went down around the 22.
After a Tigers punt, the Dogs again marched down the field. Shockley connected with Leonard Pope for a first down. Craig Lumpkin would gain some tough yards, and then Coutu would kick his second field goal of the evening.
They set it down, and the kick is up, and the kick is good.
Yes, sir.
Coutu hit a long one, 51 yards, and it's 27-7. And we get some more points.
With the lead now at 20 and a new quarterback replacing Russell, the Bulldogs defense was now bringing pressure on every play. It quickly paid dividends when Tim Jennings read the LSU quarterback's intentions.
Quinn coming back, stops, throws a hard pass over to the right.
We intercepted. Jennings has got a touchdown down on the far side. Tim Jennings read it. Cut in front of the receiver out around the 15. Jumped, caught the ball, and streaked in the corner and scored. Tim Jennings read that thing and then roared down in there, untouched, and nobody could run with him or look at him. There was nobody over there. He and a receiver. And he read it and picked it off. And just like that, it is 33-7.
Jennings' touchdown cemented the victory for Georgia. LSU would score a late TD, but the Bulldogs celebration was already underway. As the final seconds ticked away, a senior class that had produced a school record 44 victories could enjoy their second SEC championship in 4 years.
Atlanta wins the toss. They'll take the football and move left to right to start this first quarter.
Big play action. Michael looks, throws, Crumpler, caught, and it's a touchdown. Reed on the year, 5 out of 8. Snap spot, tries away, and it is good. Snap. Roethlisberger looks, throws, caught, touchdown, Hines Ward. Second and goal outside the 1. Give again, play action, no, Parker looking, touchdown, Roethlisberger to Heath Miller, the tight end. Vick in a shotgun. 3 receivers, they spread the field again. Michael looks right, sets, throws, that is caught. Touchdown, Algernon. Vick in a shotgun, snap to him, pressure coming from the perimeter. Michael's going to loop it to the end zone, Jenkins there, he makes the catch. Marker thrown on the play, he caught it. Does he roll? Yes, touchdown Atlanta. Shotgun for Roethlisberger. Snap to him. Pressure coming, back across the middle, caught. Touchdown. 24-21, Pittsburgh with a 3-point lead. Well, you talk about a well-thrown ball in the heat. Roethlisberger does not turn away. Beautiful throw. He got his head sandwiched between Chauncey Davis and Patrick Ernie. Third down at 9, and here's Batch. This is a big, big play in the ball game. Snap to him, low snap. Pressure coming. Batch in trouble. Got rid of it. Almost threw it away. Jenkins in motion. Give us to Dunn. Left side. He got in. Tell me he's in. Touchdown, Warwick Dunn. 5:44 to go, quarter 3. Falcons 28, Steelers 24. Here's Batch, play action to Parker. He's going to throw down the field. Caught, Ward in stride. Breaking away 30, 25-20. Goes to the far side, 10, and Hines Ward will score. Touchdown. Here's Vick rolling back, center of the field. Lots of time. Crumpler there. Caught. Touchdown, Algernon. Spot. Kick is away, and it is perfect. Falcons 38, Steelers 31. First and 10 at the 17 of Atlanta now. Pittsburgh down a score with 3:25 to play. Batch, play action, looks down the seam, throws, caught. Hines Ward, touchdown.
Game goes to overtime.
Snap, spot, kick is away. Atlanta wins. 41-38 is the final. The Falcons are 4-2. Pittsburgh is 2-4.
Go alley-oop to Smith. Inside, taken down by the Hawk. Childress, what an effort. Josh Smith rides up and throws it down. Take that, Amari. And right there to knock it away. Amari, you better think again. Good close out by Josh Smith, and he takes it away from him. Hey, here it comes, and a big throw down. He wound up and brought that from down under. Wow.
Look at this.
Oh, another one. Sky high. Rock bottom. Oh, baby.
Boy, did he go up, and he had a chance to take a picture, pause, and then just drop it in.
That's to foul, but what a block by Marvin Williams. Push ahead, Smith. Oh, my goodness. Now, you have power dunkers, and then you have power dunkers. Wow.
He's in a league by himself.
Lose turnover. A steal for Turkoglu.
Bounce to Nelson, and rejected by Josh Smith, and it's out of bounds.
That block right there is amazing.
Got that itchy trigger finger, and Josh Smith just said, no, I don't think so. Behind the back to Sheldon Williams.
Josh is showing us a couple passes from the last game he threw it around his neck and now around his back.
Back to Al. He gets doubled, spins away from the double, goes hard to the bucket. Smith twice with the rejection. Good defensive play. Leads his team in block shots, and here's why.
Bosch went right by. Inspected and rejected by employee number 5. What a play, and Josh gets the duck in the other end. And a foul. How about that sequence? One of the most magnificent blocks we've ever seen. Josh Smith.
Beginning with 5th-ranked Auburn at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Georgia played its most dominating half of the season behind the arms and legs of freshman quarterback Matthew Stafford.
Auburn's linebackers coming up in there close. Stafford went back into a shotgun and takes it and fires, and is complete to the big tight end. First down on the 33 or 34. Martrez Milner caught a ball. Crowd making some noise. Stafford goes underneath. 2 wideouts. Auburn creeps up into a 5-man line. Stafford looks, fires, and it is complete up in the 43. A.J. Bryant on Auburn drove him back across the 40, but the gain was to the 43. 2 wideouts. Loren and I with Stafford underneath. Stafford takes in his back, and he's going to throw a long bomb. Hey, he's got a man out there. It's complete on the 20, across the 10, down to about the 6. A.J. Bryant beat his man 2 steps. The corner was the one that pulled him down. You could see him coming across a 30, and he was breaking open, and that's the where Stafford was looking. Stafford laid it in the right place. The running back is Lumpkin. Stafford backs up into a shotgun again. Goal to go. Auburn's linebackers are moving. And we go to Lumpkin running up the middle and touchdown, Lumpkin. We shot Lumpkin right up the middle. We spread the field pretty good, and they spread with us, and we shot Lumpkin right up the middle, and the Dogs have drawn first blood.
The Dogs' defense baffled Tigers quarterback Brandon Cox by applying steady pressure on every down. Trey Battle put his name in the Georgia history book with 3 first-half interceptions, one of which he returned for a touchdown.
They got 3 wide outs. Cox underneath. 3rd down, 12 and a half. Cox back to pass. He's well protected. Fires, and we intercepted on the 40-yard line. Trey Battle down the left side, and they knocked him out in front of our bench, and then they're 42. Lee Guess, a wide receiver, got him. Trey Battle read a play and cut inside and intercepted and went about 15 yards with it. Second quarter, leading 10-0. Stafford points at the defense. Got 2 wide outs and an eye. Stafford dropping back, looking, and decides to throw it 40 yards. And it's going to be a touchdown or close. He's on a 1-yard line. He led Kenneth Harris with David Irons a corner on him. He threw a beautiful strike. Caught right on the 1, and down he went. Dogs are goal to go. Just hang on to the ball. We're in a power eye. And so we give it to the fullback, and he stuck his hand in there good. From up here, he got across. Yes, he did. Touchdown. Brandon Sutherland drove in at right guard, and the Dogs got another touchdown with 5:42 to go. The 3 wide outs, 4 now, but there's a running back. Lester's in motion. Shotgun, Cox. And Cox is going to fire. And we intercepted out on the 30-yard line. Trey Battle streaking in. Touchdown.
Trey Battle with his second interception takes this one the distance, and Auburn is in a hole now. It's 23-0.
Auburn 3 wide outs. Snap, Cox coming back, and we sack him. Somebody boomed right up the middle and got him. Ray Gant really hit him. Gant came up the middle and hit Cox and knocked him about 6.5 yards behind the line, back to the 29. Shotgun, Cox. Going to take it and drop back. Cox has a deflected ball. We intercepted on the 40. Trey Battle coming over to the left sideline down to about their 20. Ball was batted. Ball was batted, and Trey Battle caught it about 10 yards away or even farther. Stafford faked the Lumpkin, looks. He's in trouble. He's going to run straight ahead and take it down over the 15 to about the 12 or 13. Groves at defensive end got him from behind. Clock says 44 seconds. It's 24-7. Shotgun, Stafford. Hit Jones pointed at the linebacker and went back underneath. Snap to Stafford. Stafford looks. Set up a screen, and Lumpkin with the screen over to the far sideline. Lumpkin's going to score. He tightrope down that sideline. An Auburn guy took a long dive at him around the 10. Set up a screen, and Lumpkin went over to the right side, still had a blocker when he got to the corner and turned the corner. Would you believe we scored 30 points in the first half?
Matthew Stafford finished the game with 302 yards of total offense, 217 passing, and 83 rushing. His fourth quarter touchdown cemented a 37-15 victory that ended Auburn's SEC and national title hopes.
Dogs lead 30-15. One receiver breaks wide left, one goes out medium right. We're in an eye. We bring the receivers across. Stafford looks, and he's going to throw to Marcus Miller, who caught it, leaping on the 40 and down around the 36. Turned around and faced Stafford and caught the ball and fell backwards. Stafford is back in the shotgun. 3 wide outs. There's a running back with him. Auburn going to blitz people. Stafford's going to run a draw straight ahead over the 30 to the 35 and slides on the wet grass.
Somebody told him to slide.
Yeah.
Get the first down and get down.
2nd down, we need 15 yards. 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 2nd down, we need 15 Snap. Going to hand it to the tail, and driving up the middle is Lumpkin all the way down to about the 10, maybe the 9.5. Savage, a free safety corner from behind. We ran a trap up in the middle, and Lumpkin just shot in there. Lumpkin from the 30, got it all the way to the 10. Third down, they need 9 yards. Stafford going to take it, and Stafford going to run a draw. Touchdown, Stafford. How about that?
How wide open was that?
Wow.
That was a huge gaping hole. Nobody in the middle of the field for Auburn.
36-12.
The stunning upset victory over 5th-ranked Auburn would prove to be the opening scene of a 3-act drama that would catapult the Dogs back into national favor. The season's final regular season game was at home against 16th-ranked Georgia Tech, as the Bulldogs aimed for their 6th consecutive win in the series. Led by cornerback Paul Oliver, the Bulldogs shut down Georgia Tech's all-world receiver Calvin Johnson, holding Johnson to a paltry 2 receptions on the day.
Reggie Ball back. Shotgun. Puts another man over on the right. Snap to Reggie Ball. We're coming on him. He fires. Incomplete. Paul Oliver fought a big receiver. Calvin Johnson right over the line. Got his hands and touched that ball. Oliver jumped so high, and Calvin couldn't catch it on the way down. That was pretty close. Calvin over on the left again. Reggie Ball shotgun looking. There's a fade into the corner, and we batted out of bounds again. Paul Oliver again. Threw a fade in the corner to Calvin Johnson, and Paul Oliver got up there again. He's from Kennesaw. What's he doing? It's going to be 4th down and 7. It's 7-3. Oh, don't tell me we're going to have a 1-point game for the rest of the night, and I got to pray.
The Bulldogs trailed 6-0 in the 3rd quarter when linebacker Tony Taylor emerged from a rugby-like scrum with a fumble recovery and a surprising touchdown.
Choice for running back, battle back in the shotgun. He's dropping back. He's looking. He sees a wide open field. He dodged one man. 2 men got him. The ball came loose up on the 28-yard line. And the dog picked it up and wants to run and score, and he dives in the end zone. Now there's a flag down. We're celebrating all over. Somebody picked up a loose fumble, and it is a touchdown. Tony Taylor, 43. They're mobbing Taylor in the corner. They may have penalized us for celebration. Something happened just as I was yapping my big mouth off, and the guy went ahead and dropped the ball. But it took it all day for somebody to bring that ball out of the fumble, didn't it?
Yeah, the defense scored, didn't they?
There were people just standing around. Yeah.
I guess Taylor just picked it up. He wasn't down on the ground.
No.
Georgia Tech responded from the miscue to take a 12-7 lead. But freshman quarterback Matthew Stafford and the sure-handed Mohamed Massaquoi then combined to create some late-game heroics that had Larry Munson at his best.
About 8 minutes and 34 seconds. We're down 12-7. The one touchdown we scored, a guy had to bend down in the middle of a pile and literally yanked the football from under some legs. He knew the ball was loose on the ground, and then he ran it in. Caught everybody except the officials and our team. Flat-footed, dumb, like I was. Shotgun, Stafford, 3 wideouts. Stafford standing there looking. Snap, he looks. Stafford throws complete in the right flat. First down up on the 50-yard line. Kenneth Harris, one of the young receivers. They're in a 4-man front. Stafford's in that shotgun. Tech will blitz probably in any moment. Stafford back looking, fires, and is complete in the 42, and it goes down to the 40 to Massaquoi. He leaped on the 42 and then fell on the 40. It might be a first down. I don't know if they got it measured or not. First down on the 40. Holy smoke, Stafford's hit a couple passes in a row. 7:47 to go, and Tech leads 12-7. And look at us trying to pretend we're not tired, trying to come down the field.
We are on the 40, and we put 2 men out left and 1 man out right. Stafford looks out. Tech back up into that 5-man line thing they've used most of the night. Stafford hands it to the tailback, and Danny Ware cuts it outside, 10, 15 yards, and he took it down to the 25. Danny Ware got to the corner because he was kind of trying to pick the hole at the right tackle, and it wasn't there, and then he got outside all of a sudden. Philip Wheeler, the linebacker, got him. We've come down to the 25-yard line. We have no offense. We can't be doing this. Now Rayleigh in motion, going over to the right. Stafford hands it off. Danny Ware trying to get outside, and he fell as he got, I think he got 5 yards. He was tripped. He went head first on the 20. Stafford underneath. He stands up and looks to the right, and he looks to the left. He's making signs with him. He's back underneath, and he's going to give it to Danny Ware, who fights against, he didn't get enough of a block, fought against a tackler around the 17-yard line. And that was DJ Jones, a free safety. And now you got a big 3rd down, you guys. Stafford put his hand behind his body and flicked it as his fullback. And now we give it to the tailback, and we drive in the middle. And he may have fallen for a 1st down. I think when he fell over the 15, let's watch a spot. The spot's going to decide. You don't want to go 4th down and 1 inch. No, we got a 1st down. Now you got 15 yards to go with 5:29 to go. Stafford up there in the shotgun. Tech's got 6, almost 7 on the line. Massacre in motion. Stafford going to fire to Massacre. Complete to the 4-yard line. 2 men hit him, but Massacre fell on the 4. That'll be a 1st down. We got 4 receivers out wide. Stafford retreats, looks, pumps, throw. Touchdown! 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 My God, a touchdown! 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 Massacre!
That was a pretty good drive, wasn't it? 12 plays.
Oh,
Dogs with their, they're going to go for 2 here.
We put 4 receivers out. Stafford is in a shotgun. We want a 2-point play. Massacre goes in motion. And Stafford now running to the right. Fires. And it's complete. We caught it 1 yard in. Massacre. Now you got 105 seconds to hang on. Don't celebrate now, for God's sakes. 15-12 we lead. 15-12. We got to hang on 105 seconds. And we're too tired to hang on. We got the lead 15-12. How did we do that? I'll tell you how we did a lot of it. The guy from Texas did a lot of it. Holy smokes. 1 minute and 45 seconds. How are we going to stop him? Wait a minute. We're not thinking about Lauren. He may have died on that. Lauren could be lying on the sidelines dead. You can't tell. Lauren, are you still there?
Well, I'm barely here. I've been down here jostled by Happy Diggs and all the team doctors, but I'll tell you,
wow,
I jumped about 6 feet and I can't do it.
Oh, I know you can't.
But I did.
Well, it ain't over. Remember that. Brian Mims, we're going to let Mims kick off. Tech's got Evans deep. The kick is very high. A little short. Yeah, short to the 12. And Tex Evans, we're going to mob him on about the 18. 1 minute and 36, that means 96 seconds. We're ahead 15-12. And Tech up to the line, Reggie Ball in a shotgun. The crowd is just literally nuts. Bell back looking, Bell throws a bullet to Johnson. Ooh. Open. We hit him on the fumble, the ball went bouncing out in the field, incomplete pass. 79 seconds, 79 lousy seconds. Shotgun, Reggie Ball retreating. And we're going to come on and grab him. And we got him on a 15. Moses got him. Charles Johnson got him way back in the 15. The stadium just rocks and rolls in noise. 68 seconds. Tech shotgun. Reggie Ball takes it. He's back. He's circling to his right, and a man jumped in front of him. And Oliver intercepted the ball on the other side, our side of the 50. They went to Calvin Johnson deep. Oliver intercepted, my God, 61 seconds. The coach is trying to get their players off the field. They don't want another penalty. Charles Johnson jumped up in front of Reggie Ball with his whole body
as Ball threw a long pass. And the pass wound up shy of the receiver, and Oliver was there. We got the ball. It's 15-12. My God, don't drop the ball. Stafford looks at him. 14 seconds. Stafford takes a knee, and we have beaten them. 15-12, and now they are mobbing everybody. The bench explodes out toward the field. What a game to win with no offense and hardly any healthy players. Holy smokes. The Dogs have beaten Georgia Tech. I do not know how. 15-12. Listen to that cowbell. Listen to that wonderful cowbell.
The Bulldogs' 8th win of the season set up a Chick-fil-A Bowl showdown with ACC heavyweight Virginia Tech. The 14th ranked Hokies entered the game with the nation's top-rated defense. Georgia fell behind 21-3 at the half before scoring 28 unanswered points, starting with a Brandon Coutu field goal, followed by a successful onside kick and the Bulldogs' first touchdown drive of the game.
He just dribbles the ball in front of him instead of kicking. The ball's on the ground, and we're diving on the ball. We say we've got it on our own 47 or 48. Instead of kicking the ball, well, he did kick it, but he rolled it off his shoe, kicked it about 6 yards in front of himself. The ball was barely spinning and rolling, and the Dogs jumped all over it. We're in an eye, slot left. Stafford underneath, going to hand it to Ware. He's got a hole at right guard, and he shot through. First down on the 24. Shotgun Stafford. Stafford takes it, going to give it to Lumpkin. Stafford's going to keep it and drive outside and took it down to about the 17. Shotgun Stafford retreating, looking, fires. Great leaping catch on the 12 by Chris Durham. They rolled him back out to the 15. Takes the count, going to give it to the tail and run Danny Ware straight ahead, and Ware fought his way to about the 7.5. 2nd and 5. Stafford fakes. There's a man open. Touchdown in the end zone to Martrez Milner. Milner ran a delayed pattern wide open. Nobody in the secondary saw him. They were stacked in there too close.
Again, a play-action fake. The linebackers bid on it, and Martrez Milner was wide open right under the goalpost.
We set it down, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. It's 21-13. Dogs have cut this thing down. We are 8 points down.
4 minutes later, the Bulldogs struck pay dirt again and attempted to tie the score by going for 2.
Trying to protect their 8-point lead. Dogs stack up some blitzing-looking people in the middle. Glennon drops back to pass, looks, takes it, starts to run, starts back to run the other way, and then throws a pass. We intercepted on our 37-yard line. The Dogs got the ball. Tony Taylor intercepted, took 3-4 strides, and went down. Intended for Orr. Intended for Orr, the running back, who was down there. One of our receivers in motion. Stafford going to reverse with him and swing and fake him. And we're going to run a long pass, and it's complete on the 12-yard line. We got a receiver down on the 2. Martrez Miller caught a long Stafford pass down the left side. Rouse, the rover back, was the only thing that could save the touchdown. Great ball handling and faking in the backfield as Bryant faked the reverse around behind Stafford. We had a delayed long pattern down the left side, and here we are down close to that goal line. So we put 4 receivers out, though we got him in fairly close. Now we put Milner in motion to overload one side. And a quick handoff to Lumpkin inside. Touchdown! Stafford, great ball handling fake, gave it to Lumpkin, who shot up in the middle and scored. And just like that, you are back in the ball game. So we line up on the left hash mark on their 3-yard line. We're going to go for 2 points. Stafford's back in the shotgun. Stafford going to take it. Got time, looks. Good! Back of the end zone. Martrez Milner high in the air and hung on. Milner got us 2 big points. It's 21-21. 12.5 minutes.
Less than 2 minutes later, the Bulldogs snagged their first lead of the game.
Brennan going to take it. Fake, and we sacked him from behind. somebody came in off the right corner, Big Johnson, and a fumble, and we got the ball. Johnson got him. Quentin Moses may have recovered. All of a sudden, you ought to see that bench, the Georgia bench. They're just leaping. They hold it on the 18. The kick is up there, and the kick is good. And Coutu sticks it in there, and the Dogs take the lead for the first time in maybe 3 hours. It is 24-21 timeout now.
Momentum, thy name is Georgia. 3 minutes later, the Bulldogs' 18-point deficit had become a 10-point lead. The mind-boggling rally complete.
They've made mistakes in this second half. Stuff you wouldn't expect to see. The two backs back with him. Glennon wants to pass. We deflect the ball. We intercept it. We got a guy running. It's going to be a... No. They're going to put it down an inch from the goal line. I believe Tony Taylor caught a ball that was batted into his hands. Oliver was a guy that chipped it. The Dogs came up with an interception. The official said he didn't break the plane. They put the ball down just outside of the goal line. Here you are, 4th down. You got to get a foot, I guess, or something like it. So we run the fullback, and he got it. Outside a right tackle, got his whole body into the end zone. Sutherland burst over there. Kick is up there, and the kick is good. And it's 31-21 with timeout called here.
The Bulldogs finished off the magical upset of the 14th-ranked Hokies 31-24. Georgia's 3rd straight win over a ranked opponent.
So far with just 3 points in the contest. And terrific shooting by both teams. Amazing shooting. And here's a great alley-oop and reversed by Mike Mercer.
Dominique Wilkins is back in the building. He's wearing 33.
Yeah, the former Georgia Bulldog, recently inducted into the Hall of Fame, has to smile at that. Wow, Mike Mercer, 11 points in the game now. Hurt his hand on the dunk. He's shaking his right wrist.
Look at Humphrey lay this baby up there. Look at Mercer take it, spin in the air, and flush it down. Wonderful execution. Off the charts.
The last NCAA tournament for Georgia was 2002. That was later vacated because of NCAA sanctions. Based on what you've seen today, is Georgia a potential NCAA tournament team?
Based on today, I got to give them that. That's for sure. They played with heart, purpose. What a shame only 6,000 or so could be here to see it.
Stoops with the dagger for 3.
And more importantly, they handled the clock like a champ.
Here's Pargo. Georgia puts up 96 on Gonzaga.
Guarantee the Zags will give Duke a good game. That'll be one worth watching. They always respond well after a loss.
Perhaps the biggest win in the Dennis Felton era in his 4th year at Georgia.
Well, you know what? He was 10 of 33 before dropping those 2 down. Biggest lead of the night for Arkansas.
And biggest possession of the night for Georgia. They must get at least a point out of this possession to stay in it.
Newman, they get 3 out of this possession.
Now that's what Newman can do. The time before, he was taking a shot that's not his strength.
Missed the free throw, 6-point lead. Loose ball, Gaines runs it down.
Georgia right back to where they were the last possession. They must get at least a point out of this possession to stay in it.
Gaines against Urban. Hill hedges the screen. Newman open for 3. Bang!
How about that? Arkansas lets Newman get loose twice in a row.
But Billy Humphrey's in the game as well. Another very good catch and shoot guy.
As well as Levi Stoops in the right corner of the floor. Here's Felton comes with his 3 best perimeter shooters, Rich.
Gaines, little mismatch, takes the 3. Hits the 3! Sundiata Gaines! Hello! And Georgia gets a three. 64-64.
By design, you would love to take the very last shot. At worst, Arkansas at home goes into overtime. Look at
Gaines went
this.
for the steal and got it. Georgia ball. And Georgia gets the timeout. Sunday out of Gaines, reached around, poked it loose from Gary Irvin.
What we want. Are we tough enough to come in here and take a step in that direction? He's talking about an NCAA bid.
Let's see if they foul Gaines.
You got to get him right now. You got to get him right now.
Gaines is fouled.
Smart play.
2 seconds left.
Smart play. Arkansas on top of things on that sidelines.
Another foul obviously puts him at the line where Georgia's been perfect tonight. Dennis Felton is going to substitute in Steve Newman, who's hit 2 big shots.
And Newman now becomes a threat to pick for a guard and then pop to the perimeter, catch, and let that thing fly. Got to recognize what the substitution personnel just did for Georgia if you're Arkansas.
Mercer will inbound it.
Side court, holds it high to Newman. Long three! Good! Holy smokes, he hit a 26-footer! And everybody's hugging Steve Newman at the middle of the floor. How did he hit that shot? Oh my goodness! Dogs win it 67-64. Absolutely stunning finish.
Getting the job done for the Dogs. Here's Larry Munson with the highlights of the Dogs' overtime win over the Wildcats.
A sellout crowd of over 10,500 saw Georgia pull off one of the great comebacks in its basketball history. But the K.S. Brown dunk had the Dogs off to a quick start. Minutes later, a Terrence Woodbury three-pointer made it 10-7 Bulldogs. Kentucky then went on a 12-2 run before Billy Humphrey hit for 2 and Woodbury buried his second tray, and that cut the Cat lead in 1917. For the remainder of the first half, however, Kentucky pulled away behind the shooting of Joe Crawford, who finished with a game-high 29 points. They built their lead to 17 before the Dogs cut it down to 43-30 at the half. When the second half began, an inspired bunch of Bulldogs showed their bite was as ferocious as their bark. The K.S. Brown, who led Georgia with 20, scored 3 straight baskets inside as Georgia scored the first 8 points after intermission to cut the Kentucky lead to 5.
And beat Brown for a slam dunk to K.S. with a two-handed finish. And it's 43-34.
The Wildcats would pull away once again, going on a 9-2 run, and suddenly their lead was back to 14. But that's when the Bulldog fireworks began. The K.S. Brown cut the lead to 11 with a slam. Sunday out of Gaines, who finished with 19 points, hit 2 free throws and scored on a steal. And suddenly the Kentucky lead was down to 7. Then Terrence Woodbury, who had perhaps his finest game in the red and black, connected for 2 of his 16, and Georgia narrowed the margin to 53-48.
To left, runs it up, kicks it to Woodbury, can't shoot 3. Oh, yeah, it's a long two-pointer, but he gets the crowd going a little bit more. Toes on the line for Terrence Woodbury.
The Georgia crowd was now inspiring the Dogs, and the players responded. Brown scored inside to cut the deficit to 3. Yada Gaines hit from behind the arc to cut the Kentucky lead to 55-53. Then Gaines would tie the score and bring the house down with an alley-oop.
Underneath the outlet to Mercer, lob to Gaines, catch, shoot, it's good, and a foul, an alley-oop, caught in the air.
After trailing for so long, the Bulldogs once again took a lead when Brown connected to make it 57-55. A minute later, another Brown slam would build the Bulldog advantage to 4. Georgia looked to have the game in command when Gaines scored to give the Dogs a 63-58 lead late, but Kentucky rallied to tie the game, and they sent it into overtime, tied at 65. After falling behind by 2 in the extra session, it was all Georgia. Brown tied it inside, and then Woodbury hit another three-pointer to make it 70-67 UGA.
Penetrates, kick out to Woodbury. Three. Good! Terrence Woodbury with a huge three from the left side. Dogs 70.
UGAAINC would hit a big three-pointer to give the Dogs a 73-69 lead, but the game wasn't iced until Mike Mercer slammed home the game's final points. Georgia won at 78-69 in one of the most thrilling victories in Bulldog history.
Flips it to Brown, top of the circle, into Bliss. Double teamed in the paint, back out to Zacchaeus. Right corner feed to Stooks for three. Levi, good! Three ball by Stooks, and the Dogs have tied it for the second time. Inbounds play for LSU off the curl. The three ball from the left wing won't go. It's rebounded by Zacchaeus Brown. That is his 7th rebound of the contest. 33-32, Zacchaeus for three! Oh, baby! Zacchaeus Brown hits his 2nd three of the year and gives the Dogs their line to take the feed. Mercer has it now on the left side. Bounce it across white wing to Gaines. His three rattles in there, good. Sunday out of Gaines hits his first. Woodbury for three, left side. Then out of traffic. Lobs it to Jackson, left baseline. Back to Mercer for a three. Mike leaves it. Oh, yeah! He got until that basket. 49-46 to Sundiata with 9 on the clock. Gaines tries to go baseline. They double team him. They trap him on side court. Jump pass across the way to Humphrey. Catch and shoot three. Oh, baby! Ho, ho, ho! A desperation pass by down. We're tied at 49. Go to Newman. Newman at the elbow. Back to Levi. Long three straight away. Good! Stooks held both arms out wide as he backpedaled back. Set it straight away. He'll go one-on-one with Temple. Crossover to the basket. The drive. No good. Follow on the miss. Mike Mercer got way above the rim and dunked it on the miss by Sundiata Gaines. Mercer with 5 is big this afternoon against LSU. Gaines and the clock ticks at 12. Now it's less than that. And Gaines still in the backcourt with 8 on the clock. Cross the timeline with 5. Sundiata, ball in hand. Sundiata to Levi. Long three for the win. Yeah! Levi Stooks at the horn. Another buzzer beater. But wait a minute. The officials are saying everybody get back to the bench. They're going across to the scorer's table to see if there's time on the clock. Stooks hit about a 23-footer from the left wing, which apparently has given Georgia the win. Media on the floor, their cameramen and wires and cables everywhere. Security on the floor. Both teams' benches emptied. Now they're trying to clear the floor and see if there's any time left on the clock. All 3 officials are huddled, looking at a monitor straight across from us at the scorer's table. If there's no time, Levi Stooks' 4th three-pointer has given Georgia. Temple to throw it in. Singleton to guard the inbound. They run the floor, throw it in. Intercepted by Mercer at the half-court line. That's the ball game. Georgia rallies from double-digit deficit again to win a buzzer beater, knocking off number 21 LSU here in Athens, 57-54. What a finish. Levi Stooks, the man of the hour, with 16. Saunders and Gilberry making the stop. It's 3rd down and 8 yards to go from the tied 10. Empty backfield for Georgia. They'll put 3 in a triangle formation to the left side. 1 receiver to the right. Now they have a back in the backfield. That's Thomas Brown. Shotgun to Stafford. Drops back. He sidearms one to Brown at the 10. It's complete. Brown into the end zone. Touchdown, Georgia. Thomas Brown caught a pass at the 10. Stafford sidearmed it to Thomas Brown, and Thomas, untouched, got into the end zone for the first 6 points of the game.
Beautiful series called by Coach Mike Bobo right there. Another blitz by Alabama, through a screen, perfect play call, perfect execution. We needed to take this crowd out of the game early. That's a perfect start, 3 for 3 on 3rd downs in that drive. Great start for Georgia.
Here's the point after, the snap and the hold and the kick, all good. Brandon Coutu splitting the uprights. Georgia with the lead, 7-0. They go 70 yards for the first score of the game. Timeout. Pause for these. Split out receiver on the near side. Stafford, toss sweep to Marino, right side at the 6, at the 5. Marino, touchdown! Sean Marino scampers into the far corner to put Georgia back in front.
Great job by Bruce Figgins there, just driving the Alabama defenders away. Again, able to get up on the second level of this Alabama defense, creating some seams that weren't there earlier in the game. Good, strong run by Knowshon Moreno.
Georgia goes 73 yards on that drive to regain the lead. Here's the point after attempt by Katu, and it is good. And Georgia leads it to the wind. There's the snap and the hold and the kick. Look at it, it's long, it's a line drive. It is no good. Hang on to the football. 23-20 in overtime. Alabama leads for the first time tonight.
Good job there by the Georgia defense, doing exactly what we should have done. Hold them to a field goal. Give us a chance right now to stick the ball into the end zone, win this football game. Worst case, you've got Brandon Katu to tie this game up and continue the overtime.
Georgia will get a crack from the 25-yard line. Trailing for the first time, 23-20. They'll line up in the I formation with Thomas Brown, the tailback. Bailey to the right and Henderson to the left. The tight end steps off the line of scrimmage. That's Chandler. He goes in motion to the left side. Play action fake to Brown. Stafford wants to go for it all right here. He throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! Georgia wins! Mikey Henderson on the reception. One and done, baby. And there is a huge dog pile in the far corner of the end zone as Georgia has beaten Alabama 26-23, and the dog players are being showered with litter from the far side of the field as they are in the student section.
Takes it, looks, can't find anybody. He's running to the right. He throws it in the corner. Touchdown. Massaquoi, I believe.
Well, we had two guys in the corner over there. Tony Wilson was in the back corner.
Stafford going to take it and go to Brown. Brown needs a block. He hit a guy. He ran over him and scored. Sutherland had one block for him. Brown had him trying to help him as he got around the left corner and got near the goal line. He then put his head down and ran right down to a five-man line, and so we quickly hand it off, and we break a man through over to the 80, down to 20. Thomas Brown is going to go all the way.
Wow. Well, there's a guy at about the 15-yard line that's picking up his athletic supporter. Brown put a move on him. He just caught dead in his tracks on Kendrick Lewis again.
A man in motion. Adams back. And we intercepted a big defender on the 30-yard line. Got it down to about the 21. Brandon Miller. The linebacker got a ball up on his chest and went up high. A short, hard bullet pass, and Miller intercepted right. And so Stafford going to pitch that ball out, and Moreno's got it, and Moreno's going in the end zone and scoring. Pitched out and swept him to the right, and Moreno had a big blocker in front of him. Sutherland, the fullback. Adams, the right tackle, had a piece of the block.
Going to run the option to the near side. They pitch it to Jackson Garrison to the 15. He plows over him, and he fumbled the ball. He fumbled it. Georgia says we have it, and the Dogs have the ball at the receiver to the left. Shotgun, snap to Stafford. He drops back, looks down the middle. He throws. It is caught! Wilson catches it at the 43. He fumbled the ball! Did he get it back? I think he got it back. Yes. 7-yard line. A 37-yard kick for the win. There's the snap and the hold, and the kick is good! Brandon Katu at the horn with the 37-yard field goal to win it for Georgia.
And what a huge win for the Bulldogs, coming off of last week's defeat against Tennessee, where we just got out.
Kickoff returns hit a long of 61 yards last week against Kentucky. Georgia kicking from right to left with Brandon Katu. He sticks his foot into it, and we are underway as he positions it to the near side of the field, taken on the 11 by James. He's up quickly to the 20. Gun. Tebow takes the snap, hands it off straight ahead to Moore. Moore breaking, losing the ball. It's picked up by Georgia. Asher Allen's got it. Asher Allen at midfield to the 40, to the 30, down the far sideline and out of bounds. Georgia recovered the fumble,
picked it up and took off running. Asher Allen deep in Florida territory. They'll stay in the eye. Chappus and Sutherland in the ball game. Chappus goes in motion, handed to Noshan. He dives, stretches out, touchdown.
And look at the entire Georgia offense coming off.
That's the whole team.
The whole team is on the field right now.
What the heck is that? That's a flag. What are we doing?
They're throwing a flag, and I don't think anybody cares right now.
Oh, my goodness.
The entire coaching staff is looking right now at the Georgia fans, getting them up on their feet. I have never seen that before.
That is unbelievable. Marino scored, and the entire team ran off the bench and celebrated in the end zone. That's shocking.
Well, let me tell you, Scott, we came in here looking for a fight, and we just encouraged one with running the entire team out on the field.
Wow. I have never seen that.
After the play is over, unsportsmanlike on the Georgia bench coming on the football field. That penalty will go to the kickoff. Also, the dead ball, unsportsmanlike on number 75 on Georgia, will also be on the kickoff.
You know, that was something that looked almost pre-planned by the Georgia football team, obviously, to get them out there on the field and get going. And they are well worth it. The Gator fans right now.
Coutu with the point after splits the pipes. That's 7-0. Now, that really challenges Georgia's defense now because Florida's going to have good field position, but Georgia willing to pay the price. They score first. Dogs 7, Gators nothing. 6 minutes to go, quarter number 1. Timeout. Let's pause for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs radio network. Dogs stay in the eye. This time will pass. Stafford right down the middle. He's got a man wide open. It's caught by Massaquoi. 50, 40. So long, everybody. Massaquoi, touchdown.
What a great throw by Matthew Stafford, staying in the pocket. Florida came out and played cover 2. We had 2 verticals going up, and Matthew Stafford, showing his arm strength there, just throws a strike to Massaquoi on the outside.
Holy smokes. Boy, this is fun, and we're not even through the first quarter.
Boy, right on the fingertips of Massaquoi. Great catch, but what a fantastic throw to thread the needle into that cover 2.
Well, they're tucking it and running it. Now we send Sutherland in motion back and forth behind the line of scrimmage. Give it to Marino on a misdirection. Marino dancing between the hashes. Cuts out left side, straight ahead towards the end zone. Touchdown as he flips heel over head into the end zone. His heels came up and his head went down, and he got the ball across the goal line. Noshan Marino improvised on that play to get 6 points for the Dogs.
What an unbelievable individual effort by Marino. Every time he touches the ball, he's doing something exciting here. Great little cutback move, and when he made that cutback move, there was nobody there.
They're going to review the play to see if he broke the plane, I guess. With Sutherland and Chappus ahead of Marino. Chappus slides in motion. Play action. Throw it to Sutherland. Wide open. Touchdown. Yes, sir.
Great call there by Mike Bobo. I think the entire stadium thought that Noshan Marino was going to get that ball. Good fake to him. Sutherland just slips right out into the flat. No one was even close to him. Easy play there for Stafford to make, just getting the ball to him.
7-yard line for Georgia. Dogs lead it by 4. 2 receivers to the left. Play action fake for Stafford. He's going to go deep, far sideline. Henderson. He caught it! He caught it! Touchdown! Holy smokes! He caught it right over the top of a Gator receiver. That was Wandy Pierre-Louis, who got toasted by Mikey Henderson. He just got embarrassed because Mikey at 5'8" or 5'9" went over the top of him and brought that baby in.
Oh, my goodness, what a great play. You know, Florida started to creep up bit by bit. Coach Bobo saw it right away and just took advantage of it. And Henderson did a great job of pressing inside to create a little bit of space for him and just took it away.
Extra point attempt by Coutu is right between the pipes. Dogs lead it 35-24. Giving this crowd a little bit more juice here in the fourth quarter. Moving from left to right. It's 2nd down and goal from the 3. Stafford under center. Power formation with Chappus in as well. Handoff. Marino left side. He plows over a man. Touchdown! Noshan left side. He got into the end zone.
What a performance by the redshirt freshman from New Jersey. And this time he doesn't run to the sideline, but a well-deserved walk.
A well-deserved walk is right. I see you, Sean. Just a punishing run right there to get into the end zone. All game long he's been doing it, and that's the first time I've seen him walk off the field all season long, and it is well-deserved.
Point after attempt as the flashbulbs flash is good.
Extra point is good.
2 remains perfect. Dogs lead by 12 with 3:50 Gatorade bath yet. Keelan Johnson did the job, giving him a hug. Johnson, this is extra special to him, the senior from Daytona Beach, Florida. Stafford takes the final snap. He kneels off and he runs to the sideline. Georgia hugging the coaches. Here come the Bulldogs running onto the field just like they did at the beginning of the ball game after the first score. 9 seconds to go, and Georgia has beaten Florida tonight in Jacksonville. Final score, Bulldogs 42, Florida 30. Dogs win. Dogs win, yes indeed. Some of the players running towards the left end of the field where the band is to celebrate a little bit with those guys. And now coming back to the middle of the field, Mark Richt and Urban Meyer shaking hands as Georgia only trailed one time in this ball game tonight, 17-14, as the Gators got a field goal to go on top. But it was a short lead, and Georgia able to repel any threat that Florida made most of the night.
Well, it was, and they came after him. Florida came after Georgia many times tonight and struck quick. But Georgia was able to keep the emotions high through this entire game and really brought the fight to Florida.
And Mark Richt heading towards the far corner of the end zone where he has his arms raised in jubilation and the thumbs up, thanking the band and the crowd that side of the field. Now he's going to run down the far sideline, and he might, before the end of the night, he might shake every Georgia fan's hand in the building.
Hey, that's good to see, too. You don't have one Georgia fan that's left the building here tonight. The flash bulbs, as you mentioned, are just going off like crazy. Good to see.
And Mark Richt is hugging the water girl, his wife Catherine, on the far side. This is huge. This is it's really tough to describe how emotionally huge this victory is for Georgia. But the Bulldogs, they're going to enjoy this one for a while before they start to get ready for Troy next Saturday.
Hey, Art, as you look forward right now, Georgia's in a position to win the SEC East. It's back in their control to some extent. And they have a shot and have an opportunity right now with the team that at the start of the season was too young to even be in position. Now they are.
Mark Richt's hugging everybody inside. He hugged Damon Evans. He hugged David Pollock. Where's Uga? Let's give him a hug, too. Auburn and Georgia getting ready to tee it up. Here to tell you about it, the legendary voice of the Bulldogs, Larry Munson.
And thank you, Scott. Get the picture now. It's a little different. The helmets are still red, but the jersey is black. Cox going to take it. Back to throw. Looking. Fires a bullet. We intercept it on the 33-yard line and take it out of bounds. Keelan Johnson right for the tight end Bennett. Keelan Johnson just intercepted one. And Stafford is going to give it to him, and he bounced outside of the tackle. He's going to get 5, 6, 7 yards. Pushing. He may have 9.5 or so. He's down to about the 32. So the Dogs want 3. Auburn's in an 8-3 setup. And the kick up there reaching. It looks all right. It is good. The two stuck it in there, and we've drawn first blood, and the lead is 3-0. And, of course, that's just nothing. Cox underneath. Take it. Give it to Lester. One man missed him, but the second and the third men got him around the 27. Cox sweeps it and pitches out to Lester. And Lester got to the corner, and we really racked him out of bounds around the 50. They're up to the 18. That's our 18. Auburn knocks on the door harder and harder and closer and closer. Lester, the tailback. Cox underneath with 2 receivers right. Going to give it to Lester again. Here he comes outside of the left. This time the first man hung on to his shoe, and the second man got him. Auburn about to tie it up, maybe. 4:54, clock moving in the first quarter. On our 12-yard line, they set it down, and the kick is up there, and the kick is good. And we're all tied up. Stafford takes it. They're coming on him. Throws a screen over on the left side to Marino. Marino's going to get 5. He's going to get 10. He's going to get about 13 yards of first down.
The screen work. Stafford coming back to pass. Looks. And now he's going. There's his man wide open. Touchdown, Massacre. Long bomb. Stafford really hauled off and threw that thing.
58-yarder.
He was about 8 yards out in front. Cox fakes. He's back to throw. And we bat the ball down right in front of him. Lomax hit it and knocked it 7-8 yards behind the quarterback. Going to take it and drop back. Hands it to the tailback. Somebody got him behind the line. Then a second and a third man. Curran, the young linebacker, hit him first, and then 2 more black jerseys hit him. He quickly hands it off, and Marino trying to come out. Marino got outside 5, 10, 15, 16 yards, down around the 34. Stafford back to pass, looking, and going to run out to the left corner to the side, and fired it is complete on the sideline on the 20 to Harris. It should be for a first down. Stafford takes it and drops back, and he's going to throw, try to lead a fade, and I think he got it in there. Yeah, touchdown by 6 inches. Sean Bailey went down in the left corner and leaped and had 2 men covering him and barely got his feet in there. A tight throw in a tight pocket.
Well, Bailey pulls a Mikey Henderson. He just jumped over the defender and took it away from him.
Auburn in a 7-4 setup, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. And Georgia leads the Tigers 17-3 with 10:54 to go on the half. Cox fakes and comes back, and he's going to run, but a big lineman grabbed him right on the line of scrimmage. Roderick Battle, a defensive end. And he gives it to Tate, gives him a blocker who's going out to the corner, and we're going to catch him, but we can't keep him. He's spun in. Cox back to throw. A man's coming on him. Got him back on the 25. Off the corner, Asher Allen came roaring in from one side. A lot of drama and a lot of suspense left the ball game late in the second quarter, but Georgia leads 17-10 at the end of the half. And the crowd gets in that throaty roar that only a football crowd can get in. Cox underneath, fakes, throws a pass to the man who just went by him. We missed the tackle, and he goes down in the corner. Did he score, or was he out of bounds? We got it. And Cox going to hand it to Tate, and we got him behind the line, way back. 3 or 4 black shirts just smothered him. Jeff Owens, the young tackle, led the charge first. Then 2 or 3 of his teammates came along. They set it down, and the kick is up there, and the kick is good. And Auburn takes its first lead of the night, 20-17. Shotgun Stafford, snap is good, looks, and decides to air it all out down the right sideline, and it is complete around the 30 and out of bounds. Sean Bailey caught another ball, this one right over his left shoulder. And he and the defensive back went out of bounds on the 26. Stafford underneath. Toss sweep, flip that thing out, and Marino got out there. 15-10, 5, touchdown Marino.
Well, he made a guy miss inside the 10. He was headed towards the corner, towards the pylon, and that was the angle the Auburn defender was taking. He stopped on a dime and changed direction back towards the hash and scored. He makes more people miss. Oh, my goodness.
The New Jersey kid got us a touchdown. We've got a little piece of the lead back. Cox takes it. We're coming on him, and he got his throw off. And we intercepted the ball out deep around the 50. Getting away is Kalen Johnson. He took it down to about the 36. Dogs will have the ball on the interception, and they will be on the Auburn 48. Takes a snap, looks, and throws. There he is, Bailey, complete on the 15 down to about the 11.
They can't cover Sean Bailey tonight. He's making great catch after great catch.
He was a half a step ahead of his man. Caught the ball and went down right away. It's on the 14 with a marker. Stafford underneath. Stafford going to take it. And Marino found a little hole to the right and got away from one. Pushed away from another and ran into another. Marino kept driving and fighting and turned it into something. And Stafford's going to hand it to Marino, and Marino went off right guard and scored. There was a little hole at right guard, and Marino ran close to the ground and kind of staggered in there in the end zone. Didn't never go down. He shot in there as the clock ended the quarter. And that makes it 30-20. Cox takes it. Comes back looking. A man's on and missing him. The next man got him and sacked him on the 20, and that was Geno Atkins. Marcus Howard took a shot, slid by him with his momentum, and Atkins got him. And with the sack, Auburn now is second down and 20, and they're back on the 20. Made a sign, so we run the toss sweep and shoot. Thomas Brown, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. They're going to get him where? Around the 1-yard line from behind 2 men. Thomas Brown, regardless of the operations or what have you, just burst right up the middle on that thing. He leaped the guy and off it came. Sutherland had one crucial block early in the run. They got him around a 1.5-yard line, I believe.
Well, it looked like Auburn had 8 guys in the box that time, too, man. They just ran right through the Tiger defense, and Thomas Brown made Etheridge miss down deep. Got it all the way inside the 5.
Man in motion, and a quick handoff, and we buck up in the middle. Touchdown. Sutherland, the fullback, went straight in there and got 1.5 yards. He needed 1 yard. We had a small gap at the center that we opened, and Sutherland got the touchdown. Now it's 37-20. Snap. Cox retreating, looking, fires a bullet over the line, hit a guy in the hands, and 2 dogs caught the ball, ran into each other. One of them slow to come up. Ryan Evans caught the ball. Brian Evans caught it. Kalen Johnson and he ran together.
Well, Keelan nearly pulled off the trifecta. He almost got his 3rd interception like Trey Battle did last year. 3 picks for Battle last season in Georgia's win over Auburn. That's the 3rd interception tonight for Georgia.
We run a man in motion. Stafford, they're coming on him. Fires down the middle and is complete. A circus catch on the 50. Chandler caught a ball down around his shoe tops, one-handed around the 50, running full blast, reaching down low by the grass. Caught the ball and got knocked down on their 39. We line up in that power eye situation. Auburn brings up everybody. And Stafford keeps it, throws a pass, complete down on the 20-yard line, and the big tight end goes down around the 5. Tripped Chandler again. Powers, a cornerback, caught him with 4th down and about 2 feet to go. Stafford rolled out right and then hit the big tight end in front of him. We break out and set it up immediately into that power eye again. And Thomas Brown tries to fight his way up the middle, and he did. He got in. He got half his body in there. Set it down, and the kick is up there, and the kick is good. And it's 45-20 with 6:48 to play. Man in motion, wide out right with the other receiver. There's now 2. Cox retreating to pass on 1st down. We're coming on him, and we got him. We sack him inside the 40. Jeremy Lomax got him, a kid out of Jonesboro. Snap to Cox. He's coming back to pass. A man on him as he threw a high wobbly pass. And we're going to intercept the ball down around the 1. Thomas Flowers high up in the air in front of the receiver with both hands and caught a ball about 10 inches out in front of the goal line. Cox underneath runs that fullback again for about 2 or 3 yards. Chappis. And now they'll let those clocks go and those seconds tick away, and they will, and this ball game is ended. Dogs bench empties out, so does Auburn. But the Dogs have won a ball game 45-20, and it wasn't that easy because a couple times we had to pull ourselves up after a rash of mistakes. But Georgia had some big play people tonight, and that had a lot to do with it. And Stafford had some long-range artillery, too. Dogs will win it 45-20.
The following is a production of WSB Sports and the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. Get ready for University of Georgia basketball. Now, let's go courtside to Scott Howard.
5-1 Georgia will get a rare visit from an ACC opponent other than Georgia Tech as Wake Forest invades Stegman Coliseum for the first time ever. The Demon Deacons haven't been in Athens in almost 100 years. 1913, the one and only visit. The Dogs are looking for a quality win here this afternoon as they head into shutdown mode for final exams next week. followed by the Rainbow Classic in Hawaii the week after. Georgia adds some size to its bench today as well as 6'10" Albert Jackson makes his season debut after a 6-game suspension. It's Georgia and Wake Forest coming up in Athens. The Bulldog pregame show is brought to you by Georgia Power, official power source of the Georgia Bulldogs. Our countdown to tip-off starts right now on the Georgia Bulldogs radio network. Woodbury, runner at the elbow, knocked it down in the foul, and Wood on his back. Got hammered on the call, knocked down the runner from the right elbow, a 15-footer. Quick outlet to Gaines, diagonal to Swansea, open for the lay-in, good! Dribble picked up by Wood. Dogs want to run 4-on-1. Here's Gaines to the basket, scoop it up and in, good. Woodbury and Gaines delivering the blow there to put Georgia up by underneath. He double pumps and he scores on a layup. And it's cleared by Bliss. Dogs going to run it with Gaines on the other end. Running layup, falling out of bounds. Gaines scores. He's in double figures with 11. Bliss comes out between the circles to take it. Brewer takes the pass. His three is deflected. Bliss rebounds underneath. Ball fake. He muscles it up and in. He leaned back into McFarland and scored from the left side of the basket.
He thrives with contact on the blocks.
He tries to shove it into the paint to Price. Price has it bounce off his hand. He gets it back out on the wing to Humphrey. 6 to shoot. Humphrey just above the free throw line. 4 to shoot. He forces it, and it will not go. The follow won't go by Bliss. It's off the rim, and the rebound chased down in the corner by Gaines. Humphrey will shoot a three. Yeah! Oh, they didn't use clock. Humphrey shoots the three instead. Just a second into that new shot clock, and it's 55-39.
So Georgia takes off 36 seconds.
Pulls up on the left baseline. The jumper is short. The rebound is taken by Gaines on the left baseline to Woodbury. Over to Humphrey for an open three around the rim and through. Good. Billy Humphrey with another three-pointer. That's his second straight. He's got 8, and it's 60-39. Dogging in left-hand dribble under the basket. Whips it out high on the right wing to Smith. He'll drive and spin in the paint. Drops it down low. Rejection by Bliss. Holy smokes. To L.D. Williams. He holds. They try to screen. Williams lost a handle. Picked up by Gaines. Gaines sprinting down the floor. Going to beat Wake to the basket and lay it up good.
This is a rout. Georgia's blowing Wake Forest out of the gym. Just a dominating performance by the Bulldogs defensively today. Wake Forest is shooting 27%. The Dogs, by contrast, 52% today.
64-41. The Dogs continue to lead, to build on their big lead. There's another turnover by Wake. Picked up by Price. To Gaines. Back to Big Price. Slamma jamma, rock the gym. Jeremy Price with a two-handed jam. 66-41. Timeout, Demon Deacons. Wow.
With authority, Jeremy Price. The goal is still shaking down to our left.
Did the clock stay up?
It did. I don't know if it's working still. That was a thunderous slam dunk from Jeremy Price. And that's why you don't get up and fight. Stay in the game, big fella, and get your sweet revenge by rocking the rim. 66-41. Wake Forest has now turned it over 19 times. This is going to be an impressive victory for Georgia today. Just be patient offensively.
Gaines goes left wing to Humphrey. Wakeman for the steal. Back to Gaines. To Price, another two-handed jam by the big freshman out of Decatur, Georgia.
The clock stayed up again.
With the defender, no call. Humphrey whips it down to Bliss. Left of the lane. Take a couple of steps under the basket. He reaches that long arm out, scoops it up and in. Dave Bliss hanging his tongue out as he ran down the other end of the floor.
And Georgia,
he's had a whale of a game.
Oh, he's played terrific.
Going to let him just dribble it out. Swansea playing keep away. 5 seconds to go. Swansea open shot. Now Weaver between Swansea and the basket. Zach just dribbling it out. There's the end of the ball game, and there is an impressive Georgia victory. Final score, Dogs 72, Wake Forest 50.
Second down at 10. 3 wideouts. Again, Stafford in the shotgun. Georgia Tech hasn't brought a lot of pressure the last couple of plays. And now it's Stafford inside the 10 and gone. Touchdown. 31 yards.
Hey, Ness, I'm going to tell you thing. You think Marino doesn't draw a crowd? Everybody went for Marino. He comes in motion. He'll come in motion, number 24, and watch what happens when he does. Look at the defense. They all follow him. And here's Stafford all by himself.
There's nobody there.
Stafford's first rushing touchdown of the year was against Kentucky last week, but that one wasn't nearly as dramatic or as long as the one he just scored on there. He's saying, Coach, just call my number. I'll do whatever I need to do.
That's a little of the spread option where you hand it one way and all of the defensive linebackers are going after the running back and nobody's there for the quarterback.
31 yards and Georgia has regained the lead.
Toss sweep to Brown. Needs a block. There goes Brown outside. 15, 20 yards. Thomas Brown, touchdown. Far down in the right corner. We suddenly did something on that line of scrimmage and we got...